Hi Sade. Um, I know it's been a tough day for you. Your laptop got wet and all those problem and things happening. Um, but at the same time, I think it's very important that we should keep the study on the go. So that's why I thought I should make a video for you and explain these things because these things I know are little bit complicated. So it takes time to digest these things. So I have your capstone idea doc open here on my laptop. So I have made some changes in your doc so you can have a look on this in detail. So just going through your doc, so let's make things very simple. So when you have an idea, so what you do is that first thing you practice divergent and convergent thinking. Remember, first is divergent, then comes convergent. Okay, because in your doc you did opposite, but it's fine. Just telling you the right way to do it. So divergent thinking, convergent thinking. So in divergent thinking, I have added some questions here, which you can see in your doc. Some more questions like, what factors become a barrier to good optimal well-being? What mindset my users, target audience need to adopt? What factors keep people motivated to stay healthy? Um, what does wellness means to my users? Does it mean being fit, being in a good state of mind, being socially connected? Okay, so these were some divergent questions. Now some convergent thinking. I have added some more convergent views in the doc, like what's the income level of my target audience? How is my target audience managing their wellness without my solution or at the current scenario? Uh, when is the best time to interview user? That's your question. Uh, why do we care about convenient wellness? Why it's so important to them? Do my users use any apps or website right now to manage their wellness, or they use offline methods? How do they order medicine, healthy food? How do they get to know what the right diet to eat right now? Who are the influencers to my target audience? So these were this exercise, first exercise. It's very simple, just one thing. First exercise was divergent and convergent thinking. So the second phase is, you go out in the field and you observe your target audience. Remember, you just observe them. You don't talk to them. You don't do any interview. You don't do any activity. You just purely observe them, how they act, how they do things. You try to understand what problem they are facing, what are the pain points, what they're trying to achieve, what are their goals, what are their motivation. I know it can be a bit difficult to observe in practical scenario, but if possible, I will really suggest you go and try, because these kind of things will really help you to develop your own design thinking, your own design muscles. So I will suggest you, if you can, go to observe. Otherwise, it's okay. Maybe you can do it later on in fifth or sixth unit when it comes again to observe the people and do interviews. So yeah, second phase is observation. So after observation, you get a lot of data. You get a lot of like their pain points, their goals, their needs, their motivation, and etc. Now you need to synthesize those data. So how you going to synthesize those data? So we synthesize all the data. There are many methods. Like you can either do brainstorming, or you can do game storming, or you can do this idea called how might we methods of brainstorming, or we can also do affinity mapping. So here we are going to talk about affinity mapping, affinity diagrams. Again, why we are doing affinity diagrams? Because we got a lot of data from divergent and convergent thinking and observation. Now we have a lot of data. So now we want to organize our data. We want to make patterns. We want to make structure, group from the data. That's why we are going to do this affinity mapping to make sense out of data, to get insights from data that we can use in our design. I call this actionable insights, which we can put in action in our design. Okay, so what I had done is that for affinity mapping, what I do is that, on this plain paper, I just make these boxes and I just write down these points. So I want to show you on the blackboard how we do this. It's very simple, okay? Okay, so I just go to blackboard. It's fine, yeah. So, okay, so now so we have now done divergent and convergent thinking. And first we have done this. Second, we went to field, we did some observation from our users. Now we got a lot of data. So what we do now is that we write down our thoughts and our observation in points. So okay, so first thing that came from the observation is that maybe just suppose what kind of diet can be helpful in my case of illness. So that's one data. So one point here is, suppose suppose I just imagine an assumption. One of my friend is having some disease in the liver, and she need to make some XYZ food, but she doesn't know how to get the food, like food preparation stuff. So I would like this point will be how to make XYZ food. That is, I mean, the food recipe. Okay. So third, okay. So I also observe and I find that people want to do exercise, but they find it boring. They find it they don't have the motivation to do exercise. I find it boring to do exercise. Okay, so quickly, we need to do this quickly because otherwise we can spend a lot of time in this. So we need to move fast here. Another observation. Which food or drink is going to help me in sleeping better? So remember, at this point there are some notes which are coming from my own assumptions, because we don't have access to right now the users. So it's okay, so we can brainstorm based on our own assumptions. We can go into users shoes and we can see what problem they might have, what they are thinking, what goals, motivation, pain points, etc. So okay, another point is that, suppose we say, some people would say, I would like to try yoga, meditation, but I don't know where to look for. Another one is that how can I know early if I am having XY disease. How can I diagnose, spot it early? So like these, we will just we can have this like at least 15 to 20 sticky notes, these notes, and more points can come here. Like some people will have this pain point. Healthcare is very expensive. Someone will say, okay, how can I don't have much time. How can I do exercise in 10 minutes? Some people will say, will have this motivation to do exercise, but they want to do at home. Some people will have this thing, they would like to do in a group. In a group, this the kind of exercise they don't have motivation to do alone. Some people will have this goal that I want to be again healthy and fit before my next year's son's birthday. So these kind of all these observation, remember, the observation will revolve around these pain points, the needs of users, the goals of users, the motivations, and other miscellaneous insights. So what we do is that in affinity mapping is that we write down all those points, these observations, and also this point from our divergent and convergent thinking. Here in sticky notes, we will have lot of sticky notes, 25, 30, whatever, and then we will try to group them. Like suppose what kind of diet can be helpful in my case of illness. So this is like we can group this maybe as a need, that user need to know this, how to make XYZ food. This we can also group as need. So we can like group them together. I find it boring to do exercise, so we can group this as motivation. They want to do exercise, but they don't have the right access, right resources to do that. Would like to try yoga and meditation. It's also again motivation. Which food drink is going to help me sleep better? It's also again it's also a kind of, they need to know this. How can I know early if I'm having XYZ drink? This also comes in need. So here need and pain point are lies in very similar boundary. There will be many other sticky notes which may comes out as a pain point. Okay, so in this way you will have these groupings. So when you will analyze this grouping, some points will be similar, those points which are similar, you just keep them aside, and you will get to see a pattern here. Okay, and these kind of things which will definitely help you in refining your ideas. Okay, but again, this is a very early stage. Right now in our project. So don't spend too much time on this. I would suggest just spend at least 2-3 hours. That's all in whole process. That's more than enough, and you will get to do a more user research, talking to people in unit 6 and 7. So I would suggest just move fast and carry on your progress. Even in the, I know it can be difficult sometimes. I can't really understand, because everyone have their own difficulties, their issues, but I will say, like, please at least try at least 2 hours a day. Try to put on your study, keep on the course curriculum going on, because that will be for your benefit. And if there anything that I can do from my side that will help you in getting your course better, please let me know. That's all for me. That's all right now. I think that's enough. So hopefully you will see the video before call, and I hope it might help you. Okay, take care. Have a good day.